Did ancient humans have a private life? 40,000 years ago, someone hid something. Not from lions, not predators, hidden from their own people. A carved stone, a secret, buried where nobody else looked. Why would a caveman need secrets? Why hide anything from your tribe? You have secrets right now. A password, a diary entry, a folder named something innocent. That folder is not innocent. That instinct feels deeply personal, almost modern, almost invented recently. But is that actually true? Did privacy arrive with doors, with curtains, locks, and passwords? Or did someone 40 millennia ago also crave a quiet moment? That question drives everything today. Let's define privacy at its core. Not bedrooms, not phones, not walls. Strip it down to basics. Privacy means information you control, space that others cannot access. That's the entire definition, really. No door required, no house, just the ability to conceal. And humans were always excellent. Concealing things is ancient wiring, older than language, possibly older. Older than fire, older still. Chimpanzees hide food from rivals. They fake disinterest in mates, then circle back once alone. Strategic deception, performed indifference, calculated. Sound familiar to your own life? Chimps and humans split 6 million years ago exactly, which means secrecy predates humanity itself. We didn't invent being sneaky, we simply perfected an old skill. Now travel back further still, 300,000 years ago exactly. Homo sapiens, brand new, terrified. Lions prowled, mammoths thundered nearby, cave bears larger than cars, rival humans ready for violence. No hospitals, no safety nets anywhere. Death was constant, close, expected. And yet, something remarkable happened. Archaeologists found deliberate, careful burials, bodies positioned with obvious intention, ochre pigment, shell beads, offerings. You don't bury strangers this carefully. You bury someone you knew, someone with their own story, their own thoughts, fears, memories. This means selfhood existed then, individual identity distinct from the group. And here's why that matters. Once you have a self, you develop mine versus yours. My thoughts separate from everyone's. The seeds of privacy planted, baked into identity from the start. You cannot have self without privacy. They arrive together, always paired. Now picture where people actually lived. Small bands, 20 to 50. The same faces every single day, every meal, every morning together. Sleeping within arm's reach nightly, hearing every cough, every argument. No door to close ever, no room to call yours. So was privacy simply impossible? One endless, inescapable group chat? Not exactly, and here's why. Anthropologists studying modern hunter-gatherers noticed something. Even without walls, people managed. Unspoken rules replaced physical barriers. Don't look when someone bathes. Don't ask certain forbidden questions. If someone turns away, leave them. These invisible walls felt real. Breaking them carried serious consequences. More serious than knocking rudely, because you knew the rule. No accident, no confusion allowed. Privacy doesn't need architecture, apparently. It needs agreement, shared understanding, and ancient humans kept agreements well. Now, let's discuss something intimate. Sex. Yes, we're going there. Most animals reproduce completely publicly. No embarrassment, no waiting around. Baboons don't excuse themselves politely. Humans, though, behaved very differently. Evidence from hunter-gatherers worldwide confirms this. Amazon tribes, Kalahari peoples, Papua groups, sex happened away from watching eyes. Even with 0 private rooms, people slipped into darkened forests, waited until others fell asleep, arranged meetings carefully, deliberately, secretly. Why hide something so natural?
because sex meant status, jealousy, alliances.
The moment sex becomes political, it becomes something worth hiding. Information about partners equals power, and power gets protected fiercely. So yes, ancestors snuck away, 40,000 years ago exactly, doing precisely what you imagine, terrified of being seen doing it. Some things never really change. Some instincts remain purely human. Now, let's explore the inner world. Did ancient humans have rich thoughts? Obviously, yes, thoughts stay private naturally. But did they reflect deeply? Lie awake pondering unspoken feelings? We cannot excavate actual thoughts. Consciousness leaves behind no fossils. But clues exist, powerful ones. Cave art offers striking evidence. Lascaux, France, 17,000 years old. Altamira, Spain, similarly ancient paintings. Horses, bison, handprints, strange symbols, painted deep inside dark caves, not near entrances, not public spaces. Chambers requiring torches, dangerous navigation. Why paint somewhere nobody sees? One theory feels genuinely compelling. These weren't public murals ever. They were private, spiritual, personal acts. Something like prayer, something like journaling. Not intended for crowds, ever. People 30,000 years ago created something purely for themselves. That reveals a profound inner life, privacy of an almost sacred kind. Now, consider personal belongings, briefly. Archaeologists found strange, useless objects. Stones carried hundreds of miles, ochre carved with careful patterns, shells strung into simple jewelry. These items served no survival purpose. They meant something personal, something identity-based. "This thing is mine," they whispered. That's privacy in its purest form. Selfhood extending beyond just bodies, into objects, into cherished belongings. Which implies something darkly interesting. If belongings existed, theft existed too. You cannot own without risking loss. Hiding places became necessary quickly. Secret spots for treasured items. Concealment layered upon concealment, endlessly. It truly goes all the way down. Now, emotional privacy deserves attention too. Across cultures, people perform emotions publicly, smiling while secretly feeling sad, appearing calm while genuinely panicking inside, saying fine, meaning the opposite entirely. This gap feels distinctly modern, right? Actually, it's ancient social technology. In small, tight-knit prehistoric groups, managing perception meant literal survival. Appear weak, receive fewer resources. Appear unstable, risk total exile. Exile meant almost certain death. So, emotions became carefully managed performances. Anthropologists call this impression management today. It requires a private inner self, distinct from your public performance. Ancient humans knew they were performing. They chose what to reveal. That awareness itself defines privacy clearly. Now, jump forward 10,000 years. The Neolithic Revolution changes everything suddenly. Farming begins. Settlements become permanent structures. Architecture starts reflecting social boundaries physically. Separate rooms appear in dwellings. Sleeping areas separated from cooking spaces. Storage hidden from casual visitors' eyes. Çatalhöyük, Turkey, 7500 BCE, one of history's earliest proto-cities. Homes had no exterior doors whatsoever. People entered through rooftop holes only, climbing down ladders into private spaces. Scholars debate defense, climate, symbolic reasons, but the effect remains strikingly clear. Homes became fiercely, deliberately private spaces, nearly 10,000 years ago already. Entry required permission, required deliberate access. Now, consider actual documented ancient secrets. Mesopotamian clay tablets reveal everything surprisingly.
personal letters, business deals, private complaints, family disputes, inheritance arguments, lingering resentment. One tablet, 1750 BCE exactly.
A furious complaint about bad copper. The world's oldest customer complaint, essentially. Even bureaucratic fragments reveal private relationships. Grievances navigated carefully, away from prying eyes. They were remarkably, comfortingly just like us. Ancient Egypt adds another fascinating layer. Famous for monuments, tombs, eternal afterlives, yet also intensely private written communication existed. Ostraka, broken pottery, cheap writing surfaces, love letters, complaints, workplace gossip preserved. Deir el-Medina, village of royal tomb builders, labor disputes, affairs, medical problems mentioned, arguments about borrowed, never returned items. These weren't official records ever intended. They were ordinary people's private thoughts, buried, forgotten, then dug up centuries later. Now nothing stays private forever, apparently. That's not modern anxiety, just history's nature. So what does all this actually mean? Privacy isn't a modern human invention. It didn't arrive with smartphones, ever. It emerged alongside consciousness itself, fundamentally. The moment humans understood inner distinctiveness, a self separate from social presentation, that moment privacy quietly was born. Every cave painter working deep underground, every person hiding a treasured object, every villager sealing homes from streets, every merchant managing private clay grievances, every worker passing secretive workplace notes, every ancestor slipping away for solitude, all of them lived genuinely private lives. All of them guarded something precious, carefully. That tension between belonging and individuality, between public performance and private truth, that's not a modern problem, ever. It might be what makes us human. Which brings everything back to you. Your passwords, your playlists, your secrets, your browser history, carefully, deliberately hidden. You aren't strange, aren't unusually private. You're simply the newest version, continuing, of something ancient, something deeply human. A species that learned quickly, instinctively. Some things belong only to you. Some thoughts remain yours, entirely yours. Privacy isn't civilization's clever invention, honestly. It's simply what it means, fundamentally, to be human, fully, stubbornly, irreducibly human. We've been guarding that truth silently since long before we had words. And somewhere, deep in ancient darkness, someone still keeps their secret safe.